Welcome to Hot Tea with Patch and BP. May contain adult content.
Hey, we're back. We've had a bit of a time off, haven't we? We've had a bit of a
hiatus.
We have, yeah. It's, she's on the cocktails. We've had, like things getting in the way, work and family. COVID, or not for you mainly, not me. So, yeah, anyway.
Man, I'm jealous of that.
I know, I do apologise. For all those who are not in Brisbane and suffering. So anyway, but so today we are back. We're back, and this series of short episodes is going to be on health, and we said this one we're going to talk about something that's close to my heart, or my bottom, really, or actually comes out of my bottom. I suppose, right? Poo. We're talking about poo. We're not actually talking about poo. We're talking about things of poo. That doesn't sound right either. Anyway, it doesn't sound right. So anyway,
it's a subject Patch loves to talk about.
So yeah, I do love talking about it. I do love talking about it because
especially her poo.
Yeah, and because it takes over my life. So
I'll start
off with my brother's nickname for me growing up was Big Shitter, because I often used to block the bog. That was it. They were like, Kaz has blocked the bog again.
Well, you know what? Nothing's changed. You're still blocking the bog.
I still block the toilet. I'm still, dropping off gifts to the porcelain gods, and they don't like it.
They do appreciate it, but they're like, whoa, that's the third one this week.
No, that's right. And I remember my brother once said to me, it was funny, and I thought he should be a comedian. He once said to me, I've just seen Leonardo DiCaprio waving at me from the fucking Titanic down the pot, and he was screaming, I'm the king of the world. So what are you going to do about your brown bobber? You know what I mean? So it was great. But listen, but I do have to say, my husband has also experienced my shitting phenomenon, as you can understand, because he has had to uncoil a length of cable off a big drum before and swooshing it, whipping it out under bit down the
was it like a plumbing snake?
Yeah, he created his own from a 2-foot length of cable. Yeah, he give it a good mix. Give it a good mix, good flow. I must have done it and then gone out, because otherwise he'd have made me do it. And luckily, these things happened after we were married, because I imagine that before we were married, he would not have married me, because it was not in our vows that we should be involved in each other's turd deposits.
But when you guys were dating in the army, seriously, I mean, he must have come across a night when you stayed the night. You guys lived together, and he's like,
well, no,
he still married you.
No, because in the army we did have nights together. Like, he slept in my room, I slept in his. It wasn't allowed, so we didn't do many of them. And well, no, we lived in a dorm, so the toilets had, he had to sneak off to the toilets and make sure there were no girls in there, otherwise they'd complain. And obviously he never knew what I did, and you don't bring it up, do you? By the way,
well, you don't.
I block bogs
just
for a living.
Big shitter.
Yeah, I did not bring that up, funnily enough. But I will briefly go over the 2 poo stories I've told before, because I just think people may not have listened to that one, but they may listen to this one. So the first story is, I worked we were at a nightclub. It was at the top of the hill. You had to walk down the hill to get to the kebab shop and the taxi rank. And on the way, there's a golf course. And the friend that was with, after I'd said, I need a shit, she said, I dare you to go shit on the golf course that was there. So climbed over the wall, and I'm not kidding, hands and knees up the banking. And then we found the first green. And obviously, like you suggested when I told this story first, I went for the hole, because, come on, some skill in that. And I'm drunk. So I managed to leave a hole in one. And but I do remember at the time laughing about the poor guy that comes out the next day and puts the flags in. But I do also think there's no way there's no way I'm the first turd he's come across. Absolutely no way.
There is no way. I'm sure he's had many turds. I'm sure it was probably on like the 18th hole where they're like, you know what, this is the last hole. Let's leave him with something special.
And if it was like, and golf courses are open every day, so it's not like it gets a weekend to fester. It's like fresh the next day. It doesn't matter. It's pretty fresh.
It's so fresh.
It's probably got all the animals gathered around it.
I know, they're like going, oh, look at that. So fresh.
What's all the activity around? Oh my God, so gross. Anyway,
what animal is this?
What kind of animal? It's a badger. It's a big turd for a badger. No, it's definitely human. Anyway, so the other story is when I worked at a chemical factory. And I don't know why that makes you laugh more than my shit story. It's awesome. I worked at a chemical packing factory. We used to do that into these big containers where the chemicals went in, and then when you squirted them, they mixed.
Hold on. What kind of chemicals were they that you were manufacturing? Just really quickly.
All sorts of stuff, like the tubs of resin, glue. And what I mostly
none of these reacted with your big turd smell that would permeate through the factory.
Well, this is the thing. Luckily, the smell of the chemicals drowned out any shit smells. So we'll get onto that. So went for a poo one day. And the toilet is inside the cube. It's like a changing room where the lockers are, and there's a sink, and then you go into a single toilet on its own. So I did my big crap, as I do, and then it wouldn't flush. I was trying. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, what do you do? What do you do? But I opened the door. Nobody in the change room. But luckily there was a coat hanger hanging up on one of the lockers. So I grabbed that. I had a good chop. And off it went. But like I said, there was no soap in the sink, so I just had to rinse it off and hang it back up. And what I said, but the funniest thing is, the next day the coat hanger's gone.
Fucking disgusting.
The coat hanger's gone, so somebody's hanging up their clothes on this filthy, shitty covered coat hanger. It's I still look back and I still think of that person. Maybe has some deposits of poo on the shoulders, and thinking, what the. Anyway, I know. Why do your shoulders stink?
When you get your dry cleaning, you just put it over your shoulder.
Stinks of shit. Yeah.
Why do your fingers smell like it's been up somebody's bumhole?
Yeah, stinky fingers. Absolutely.
So you haven't always had easy poos, though.
Well, neither of them were easy. That's why they're so massive. Do you want me to go into the details? It's like first of all, it's like passing a brick, and then it comes out, and it's massive, and that's great, that's great. So it's never a fun time for me, not really.
But you really did struggle for a very long time. I mean, you didn't realize that you had, well, you still do, but is it as bad as it was before? No,
because I know what to do now. The reason I have so many good poo stories, and the fact that, like you've brought up, that they're attached to problems, is I have been constipated since I was 16 years old.
Ugh, that's horrible.
Yeah. So it obviously as a younger, in my 20s, it was absolutely fine to not go to the toilet for 4 to 5 days. It was absolutely not a problem. I had no pain. I went for a crap. There it was. All good, but I blocked toilets because I was packing,
5 days worth of shit.
5 days worth of shit. So that was, and my mum says it's because I had my appendix out. Because other people suffer the same thing. Because when they take your appendix out, when they mess around down there in your organs anyway, they actually handle your bowels, and they handle this and they handle that, and they sew you up. And I had to stay in the hospital until I'd had a bowel movement. So then he knew everything was working again. Okay. So it must have taken 4 or 5 days, went for a poo, all good, off you go. But ever since then, I don't shit. And when I shit, I have a lot of problems. So,
wow, I didn't realize that could happen when they take your appendix out.
Well,
that's people who have had it.
But that's the only thing I can think of, because it's around then when it started.
It makes sense, yeah.
So so every time I go for a dump, it's about 5 kilos. So I lose about 5 kilos of weight every time I have a shit. So there's good.
So light as a feather.
I am. I'm skipping.
So light as a feather.
I'm skipping.
You're like, I can fly. I can fly.
I'm so light and breezy.
Feather.
Yeah, so the reason for all this is I've discovered I've got IBS, and I've only just recently discovered a diagnosis of IBS. Years and years of constipation, IBS. And how we got there was 2 rounds of colonoscopies, 2 rounds of endoscopies, blood tests, stool set, everything. So what happens is, in the absence of nothing wrong with you, no Crohn's disease, no this, that, no bowel cancer, no IBS, and there's no treatment for it. All it is diet. It's your diet. And there we go. So I did see the gastroenterologist, the guy who performed.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, lucky for him,
good.
he was up there and he was down there.
He's like, hey, your colon's amazing.
He was like,
line.
And everybody was like, yo, it's so clear. It's like you've cleaned your ass out with a Christmas tree. Ooh. Anyway, going off track a bit there. So anyway, this is where he told me that we should all have the powdery fiber substitute in water that you stir in. He told me that he recommends that everybody has a glass of that a day, because we just don't get enough fiber in our diet. That's that, and so he suggests that to everybody from birth to death. You should have it because we're not getting enough. And I get that because but I don't normally eat enough fiber anyway.
Oh, okay.
But I also saw a dietitian, and she was great. She explained to me about soluble and insoluble fiber. And so soluble is like oats and apples and there's loads of things. And then insoluble is like cauliflower and some beans and things like that. I can't remember the list, but the list is on. Heard of. Yeah, it's on the Monash FODMAP app. So the Monash University actually in Australia come up with this FODMAP chart of food, of what you can eat without, well, what anybody should eat without. It's about what you can absorb and what you can't, because your colon is the part that absorbs all the nutrients. And I'm either not absorbing them or too much or whatever. So I end up packed up. So my poor colon is all packed up and yeah. So get this, I'm supposed to avoid gluten, dairy, caffeine, and fried foods. What the fucking point is there?
You know
what?
You're absolute ball of fun then, aren't you? You might as well just throw in there being a vegetarian or a vegan and you don't drink alcohol.
Yeah, fucking ridiculous. Oh, wow. I can't have anything. So yeah, sugar's bad and all because of the absorption and that. It's crap. So I just don't. But anyway, so I know from the FODMAP app what I can and can't eat. So if I eat any of it, I know I'm going to have to suffer and I have to deal with it. We just don't have enough salad and whole grain bread and shit in our diets. We don't eat enough of it, because you are supposed to get your 5 fruit and veg for those nutrients, but there's everything else: the fiber, nuts, wheat, oats. You're supposed to get all that. And
I made these seed crackers. These are actually really quite delicious. If you can
that looks like tarmac. That looks like a piece of bloody tarmac that's come up. Seriously, I see that all the time. It's like somebody's driveway. Really nice.
I know it does.
So this is my takeaway to people there. If you're feeling like that, go see your doctor. But it's probably IBS, and it's the Monash FODMAP app. That's the best thing. It tells you green, amber, and red what you can eat and how much. It's fabulous. So if you want soft cookie dough poo instead of passing a frigging Toblerone through your ass, and then your ring piece feels like a Brokeback Mountain cowboy's butthole, then please follow my advice. Okay.
What's the list of actually there's a pamphlet out there. It's from some company. It's a poo map. It tells you what kind of poo you should eat.
Yeah, like there's the really soft poo, and really
really
and you need to be in the middle.
Poo chart, yeah.
Poo chart. So the poo chart. I've got to admit, I'm not going.
The Bristol poo chart.
Bristol poo chart, right?
Bristol poo chart.
I'm not going. It's not 4 to 5 days now. I'm going a bit more regularly, and it's
that's good.
So I'm not pushing on the walls like this and biting down on bog rolls. I'm trying to get it out.
You're not like having to call a plumber every 5 days.
I'm not, and we're not calling plumbers. No, it's fine. It's fine, and I'm not stinking the place out with 5 days worth of shit in one go. So it's not too bad. It's not too bad. But so that's basically it for the poo stories and my bowel.
Great poo stories.
I will definitely. I'll tell you what I will do. I will dig out the pictures of my colonoscopy and I'll stick them on Instagram. You know, the lovely pictures of my poop hole. They're fascinating. You'll love it. I loved
they
it.
are very
It's so
fascinating.
clean. It's so clean.
Because you can,
Beautiful.
you can see if someone's got, you know, all sorts of things in there. It's amazing.
right.
It just looks like you know what it looks like? It actually looks like that tubing you pull apart that's rippled.
Yeah. It's lovely, glowing, shiny pink. It's like, oh, what a healthy bottom.
I know, I remember when you said
That's
that to me,
me.
I'm like, wow, I got to see your asshole finally.
I know. Finally. Just wait till I get it bleached. Anyway, enough of my poop hole. I think everybody's had enough of that. So that's it. But like, we've got more episodes in our health.
We have more episodes
genre
in our health series.
Yes. So please keep joining us for the rest of them. Subscribe, like, tell us your own post.
Like.
I'd love your own post. I have my dream is to write a book called what was it now? Shit stories. Like shit stories. It's a list of shit stories. And what I want is people's funny stories about their bowel movements. So I'm absolutely looking for that. So please tell us your poo stories. I'll make them famous.
Tell us your poo
I'm
stories.
sure.
Yep.
All right. So
tell
cool.
us your poo stories.
Join us next time, and it's a BP episode. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this. Cheers.
See you guys. Bye.